Hello everyone, welcome back. We are here with another day of science, and I'm so excited to jump in today because today we get to look at your data. You should have conducted your experiments by now, and you should have some information written down somewhere telling me what happened in your experiment. Okay? If you were tracking, say, how a ball rolled across different types of surface, different types of grounds or floors. That information should be written down somewhere. Okay? If you were doing that, you could have been keeping track of how far the ball rolled. Comparing it to our pendulum experiment, even though we had different pendulum lengths, different floor types, the number of swings we had, or the distance your ball rolls, is what we're keeping track of and what we want to end up graphing when we collect our data. Okay, so today is the day we do that. Today is the day we create a physical representation of our data. And there are several different ways you can do that. Here is one way right now. You could create a line graph. If you were to do that, you could write distance rolled on the side. I'm just referencing the same experiment. This does not have to be the experiment you created. Okay, this is an example. And then down here you could say types of floor would be your label down here. And then you could have hardwood, concrete, carpet, tile. Okay, and then you'd record the distance. And if it rolled 25 feet, you would mark it up to 25. If it only rolled 15 feet, you would put a mark here. Okay, and then with a line graph, what you would do is you would connect those points like you see here. You would draw a line between those points showing how the distance changed between the different floor types. Okay, if you wanted, you could also create a bar graph. Now this bar graph here shows people's preferences for fruit. Okay, the types of fruit are down at the bottom. On the side, they tell you this is the number of people surveyed or questioned. And then here they say out of apples, they say 35 people liked apples the best. 30 people liked oranges. 10 people liked bananas. 25 people liked kiwi fruit. 40 people liked blueberries. And 5 people liked grapes. Okay, here they have a physical representation of their data, okay, of their experiment information. That's what you are creating today. Your job is to pull that information together so that it's easier to look at and easier to understand. Okay, when you have a physical representation like this, it's easier for you to sit and think about and sit and say, okay, now that I know I have this information, here it is in front of me, it's a little easier to make sense of. I can see these things in front of me, and now I can very clearly see that more people liked blueberries, even though it was a really close race and almost the same amount of people liked apples and oranges. Okay, so that's your job today. Your job is to inspect your data and reflect upon it. What does your data tell you? Today you should submit your data, tell me what happened in your experiment, and then tell me what your experiment told you. So if you're rolling a ball across different types of surfaces, and it didn't go very far on carpet, but it went really far on hardwood floors, what does that mean? What does that information tell you? Think about it. Answer that question, and then figure out whether or not that information meets your hypothesis. Remember, you are supposed to come up with a hypothesis. A prediction for what you thought was going to happen in this experiment. Okay? I'm going to connect a piece of graph paper for you to this assignment. In doing that, I'm hoping it helps you to track your information. With graph paper, you can do almost anything. I have friends that use graph paper for notebook paper, and that's how they take notes. Personally, I think they're crazy because I, for one, hate writing on graph paper unless I'm graphing something, like creating a line graph. Okay, but with this graph paper, you can do a line graph, a bar graph. You could create a pie chart if you wanted. Okay, whatever you want to do is possible with a piece of graph paper. So that's what I'm giving you to work with today. If you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I can't wait to see what your data shows us, what it means to you, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.